After having very boring discussion regarding the cardiac cycle and the pressure changes, we decided to let the prank and Stalin and we move forward. We found a man. He said, I am Mr. Korakov. I am the civil engineer here. I am the one made road system in this factory. That means the circulatory system in that factory. I am responsible for measuring blood pressure in this system, and I want to keep blood pressure within normal range in this system. So then we asked, how are you going to measure blood pressure? He said, first of all we check the blood pressure in the aorta. If you remember what Stalin said earlier, the pressure changes in the aorta during the cardiac cycle. Yes, I can remember, I said. Then he said, can you draw it for me? Yes, I will draw it for you. Here pressure axis, here your time axis. Here pressure millimeter mercury. Here 80 millimeter mercury. Here 100 millimeter mercury. Here 120 millimeter mercury. From here your systole is going to start. From here your systole is going to stop. This is your systolic time. Here your isovolumetric contraction there, here your isovolumetric relaxation. Okay. Just after isovolumetric relaxation, what happened is the pressure in the ventricle gradually goes down. Because of that, your atrioventricular valve open. So your blood start to come from here to here. Meantime, this aortic valve also closed. Because of that, the blood in the aorta go into front direction. So blood in the aorta now going lesser and lesser. Because of that, pressure in the aorta gradually goes down. From 100, it gradually goes down during the ventricular diastole. When it comes into 100, ventricular systole start. So because of that ventricular ejection, pressure in the aorta gradually goes up. It goes up to maximum 120. From here it goes up to 120. When the ejection occurs, the amount of blood in the left ventricle gradually goes down. Because of less blood in the ventricle, the pressure in the ventricle during the latter part of the systole is going to be low. So latter part of the systolic, your pressure going to be low. When it comes into 100, now aortic pressure also around 100 because of the ejection of the blood, it also went up. Now aortic pressure also 100, your ventricle pressure also 100. Because of that, now your AV valve, aortic valve going to close. Your aortic valve going to close. Closing of the aortic valve going to produce a small notch, what we call as dicrotic notch. Then what happens is, then your pressure gradually drop because forward flow of the blood, then your pressure gradually become low. When it comes into 80, your next systole begins. When it comes into 80, your next systole begins. From here to here your systole. From here to here your diastole. The same thing happened here. It went up to 120, gradually dropped to 100, your dicrotic notch appear, then again goes down. Your aortic pressure changes will be like this. We call this one dicrotic notch. It is due to closure of aortic valve. So then he said, even though we receive blood into our part in pulsatile manner, we need to supply that raw material or blood into tissue in a continuous manner. For that, we have some kind of constant pressure here in order to provide adequate amount of raw material into the tissue. So we bring a concept called mean arterial pressure. Because of that, we bring a concept called mean arterial pressure. They define mean arterial pressure as the pressure within the arterial system during the cardiac cycle. The mean pressure in the arterial system during the cardiac cycle. mean pressure in the arterial system during the cardiac cycle. You know, during the cardiac cycle, systolic phase blood pressure went from 80 to 120. Diastolic phase, it is 100. Normally, our heart rate is around 72 beats per minute. When it becomes 72, each cardiac cycle approximately take 0.9 second. 0.9 second. If it is 60, cardiac cycle approximately take 1 second. When it becomes 72, it is roughly about 0.9 second. From that 0.9, 1/3 belong to, that means 0.3 belong to systole. Rest 2/3, that means 0.6 belong to diastole. Your cardiac cycle 0.3 second go into systole, 0.6 second go into diastole. During the systole, your blood pressure somewhere around 120. During the diastole, your blood pressure somewhere around 80 in the aorta. So what I am going to do is right now, I am going to check the difference between the systolic and diastolic. The difference between the systolic and diastolic. Systolic blood pressure minus diastolic blood pressure. Here 120 minus 80, it came as 40 millimeter mercury. The difference between the systolic and diastolic is called pulse pressure. So now we have pulse pressure of 14 this patient. So what I am going to do right now is I am going to divide the pulse pressure into 3 parts. Here into 3 parts. Then I came value nearly about 13 millimeter mercury here. That means if I am going to divide this additional part into 3 segments, each one containing 13 millimeter mercury, 13 millimeter mercury. Then what I am going to do is I am going to add these 2 parts into here. I am going to remove this part, I am going to add that part. I am going to remove this part and I am going to add this part. If you have continuous pressure in your arterial system, mean pressure in the arterial system, this must be the value in your arterial system. So now you can calculate this value. 80 plus 13. 80 plus 13 is your mean arterial pressure. Your mean arterial pressure came as 93 millimeter mercury. You can calculate your mean arterial pressure by using this equation. Mean arterial pressure equal diastolic blood pressure plus 1/3 of pulse pressure. 1/3 of pulse pressure. From this equation you can calculate your mean arterial pressure. There are several other calculations. You can calculate mean arterial pressure by using systolic blood pressure plus 2 times diastolic blood pressure divided by 3. Shall we check this one is correct, whether this one is correct or not? Okay. Systolic blood pressure here 120. Diastolic blood pressure here 2 times diastolic blood pressure 160 divided by 3. Here 280 divided by 3. You can value of 93. You can calculate. You can see it is 93 millimeter mercury. That means if you want a value which have throughout your cardiac cycle in your arterial system, that value is called mean arterial pressure. Here it is came as 93 millimeter mercury. Okay, then we asked from that Mr. Korokoff, how are you going to measure those blood pressures, systolic and diastolic? He said, for that we are going to use bladder and sphygmomanometer, bladder and mercury column which connect together. Shall we check how he is going to check the blood pressure? Then he said, for a while we think we have a tubing system. We have tubing system. from here to here, fluid come from this tube. Here it pressurized. The maximum pressure he generate is 120, minimum pressure 80. That means with the 80 pressure also there is a flow. With the 120 flow, there is a higher flow. If you draw a flow from here to here, you can see basal flow here with the 80 millimeter mercury. With the 120 it goes up. Again with the 80 it is normal flow. Then with the 120 it goes up. You can have flow in pulsatile manner here. Then what he did is, he going to occlude from this end. He going to occlude from this end. First of all, he applied pressure here. It is more than 120. For why we think 130 millimeter pressure applied. Then he gradually reduced the pressure 1 to 3 millimeter per second, or 2 to 3 millimeter per second. Gradually reduce the pressure 2 to 3 millimeter mercury per second. When it become 19, it is less than 120. Because of that, you can have a flow intermittent flow. Blood come and stop. With that flow, you can have a small kind of sound called like that. With the gradual reduction of that pressure from 2 to 3 millimeter per second, now for a while we think it is 100 millimeter mercury. With that, your sound now be more louder than previously. Like sound. Once it coming to 80, there is no pulsatile flow. Because of that pulsatile sound might be not there. Because with the 80 millimeter mercury, this flow is more laminar flow rather than turbulent flow. Because of that, with the 80 millimeter mercury, it not going to produce big sound. Because of that pulsatile sound now not there, because there is no occlusion to pulsatile flow. The same theory happened with the blood pressure measurement. What we are going to do is, you apply pressure here by using a bladder. That bladder we are connected to the sphygmomanometer, which containing mercury column. What we are going to do is, we increase pressure here just above the systolic blood pressure, or 10 to 15 above the systolic blood pressure. How are you going to check that? You are going to check the pulse, and you are going to inflate the bladder until pulse disappears. Then you keep your stethoscope here. You hear a sound until that sound appears. We reduces the pressure until that sound appears. How are you going to reduce the pressure in there? We create a small leak in the smoke manometer. Then reduce 2 to 3 millimeter mercury pressure per second. Then you can hear the appearance of that sound. That is called Korotkov first sound, because it's discovered by Korotkov. Korotkov first sound. Then that sound gradually become louder, gradually become soft, gradually start to disappearing, and it disappearing. Number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Appearance of the first sound we call systolic blood pressure. Actually, it appears with the 120 millimeter mercury. The disappearance happens with diastolic blood pressure, 80 millimeter mercury. From that, we can check your systolic and diastolic blood pressure. Actually, Korotkov sound 5 is disappearance of that pulsatile sound. Actually, it is very difficult to check the disappearance of the sound. Because of that, some book says muttling of the Korotkov sound, or muttling of that sound can take as diastolic blood pressure. Some book says muttling of that sound can take as diastolic blood pressure. That is how we are going to measure the blood pressure in your body using non-invasive blood pressure measurement. In addition to that, you can insert cannula into your artery. You can directly measure your blood pressure using invasive blood pressure measurement. That's all.